Hey y'all, we're 4 games down this year. Tennessee is 4-0. And what I'm doing in this video is I'm recalculating my projections on what I had in the preseason to what Tennessee has done in 4 games. Like I said earlier, Tennessee is 4-0. And honestly, in my opinion, and I think in most people's opinion, Tennessee's better than we thought they were. We knew Tennessee had an elite defense. We had an offense with Nico Iamaleava that was going to be better this year. But they're not as good in my opinion. I mean, they're better than I thought they were going to be. They're farther along. Defensive line, linebackers, secondary are all better than I thought they would be. Running backs are much better than I thought they'd be. Tight ends, we have a good tight end room. The only concern I have is some depth on the offensive line. It reared its head in the Oklahoma game with Lance Hurd being out. So, depth can be an issue, especially on that offensive line. Now, defensive line, we got 12 guys. We're good on there. We can lose a couple, but the offensive line, secondary, those are places we have to stay healthy. So anyway, I just want to break down the rest of this schedule and how I think it's going to go. So we're open this week. We got a bye week. Thank God for that, because Arkansas is really not that horrible. They're a decent SEC team. Taylor Green can give you a lot of issues with his mobility, throwing the football. But Tennessee is going to have a bye week to prepare for that. We had an emotional, physical game, and we're going to be able to prepare for Arkansas. Should take care of Arkansas pretty easily. Not too worried about Arkansas. So we should win that one, be 5-0. Then Florida comes to Tennessee. Florida is hot dog water. They're awful. And they beat Mississippi State last week, but they're awful defensively. They're awful offensively. Napier is running a system with his quarterbacks where Lagway is getting every 4th possession or whatever he's doing. It's just a horribly coached team. And I've been there, Florida fans, so I'm not throwing water on your face. I'm not trying to rub it in because, Lord, let me tell you, I've been there. But I don't care about our struggles kind of over the years with Florida. This game's in Neyland, and Tennessee's 100 times better than Florida. Tennessee will win that game by 21 or plus points. So we're 6-0. Now, here's the hard game. Alabama is going to be coming to Neyland. That will be a coin flip game, honestly. I mean, Alabama is better than I thought they were going to be offensively. I think Jalen Milroe has had a really good year. They've got some good receiver play. That offensive line is blocking well. Defensively, they're rock solid. Not a lot of weaknesses. Now, we're going to find out a lot more about them this week against Georgia. But, man, if I had to pick this game right now, I think Alabama at home is going to beat Georgia. It's going to be a really, really tough game. But I expect Tennessee and Alabama in that game to be a top 3 game. I think Alabama's going to beat Georgia, and then they're going to play Tennessee. And I think we beat Alabama and go 7-0. We're going to be 7-0, and Tennessee will probably be the number 1 team in the country after the Alabama game. Now, that's going to be a lot, easier said than done, right? It's going to be tough to beat Alabama because, again, they have a great team this year. But I think Tennessee is going to win that game. The next game is Kentucky. Kentucky is coming. Matter of fact, let me back that up. We've got an off week before Kentucky. We'll need that after that emotional win over Alabama. We'll be able to reset things. Then Kentucky comes to Tennessee. Kentucky is not as good as I thought they were going to be. Now, they've showed glimpses the last couple weeks of kind of what their front seven can do. And Brock Vandagriff has played better. But Kentucky is going to get beaten by Tennessee. There's no way they're going to come into Tennessee the way this Tennessee defensive line and Tennessee front is playing. We will bottle up the running game. If they try to throw the ball, Jermod McCoy, Ricky Gibson, those guys. Secondary is much better, too, with Tennessee than I thought they were going to be. Really, this defense, it's just almost impossible to score on them right now the way they're playing, and you don't have a long time to throw it. And Brock Vandagriff is not the quarterback that can exploit your defense, even if you do have some issues in the secondary. So I don't really give Kentucky any chance of winning this game. In the preseason, I gave Kentucky a good chance at winning this game because I thought we're coming off the Alabama game. We'd kind of overlook them. I thought Kentucky was about an 8-win team. This Kentucky team cannot protect the quarterback. Tennessee will eat Brock Vandagriff alive, and Tennessee is going to be 8-0, and they should win this game by double digits. Tennessee should. So 8-0 after Kentucky. Then we got to play the worst team in the SEC. Yes, they are worse than Vanderbilt. Yes, they are worse than Auburn. Yes, they are worse than Florida. Mississippi State on November 9th. That's a pick your score game. Tennessee will win that by 40 plus. Easily win that game. And now you got the game that it's going to be probably another top 5 game. And I don't know how many losses Georgia will have. Georgia has a very, very tough schedule. They still got to play Ole Miss, Alabama. They got to play. I mean, they've got a tough schedule. They got Texas, but I think it'll definitely be a top 10 game. Maybe potentially both teams in the top 5 at that point. I think Tennessee's going to be undefeated. Georgia will probably have maybe a loss at this point, probably. But they're still going to be extremely good. I think Georgia gets us in Athens. I think that's a little too much, but I'm going to tell you, I give us a much better chance than I did in the preseason in this game. Nico will probably be hitting his stride as long as our depth is there, as long as we haven't had several offensive linemen go down. If we've got our tackles, our guards, Mays is still okay. Tennessee has a really good chance of beating Georgia in Athens because defensively, I think we're slightly behind them, but offensively, I think we're better than Georgia. Georgia right now has a receiver issue. They do not have the wide receivers and the people to throw the ball that they did last year with Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers. That really showed in the Kentucky game. Tennessee has a better offense overall, even though it didn't really show in the Oklahoma game because we had some issues with their offensive line. But Tennessee has a great chance at going into Georgia. I think we do lose that game, but I think that's a coin flip game, honestly. Both Georgia and Alabama are about a coin flip game. I think we're going to split those games. Then UTEP comes to Tennessee. UTEP's not very good at all. Obviously, Tennessee will win that one, cover that, whatever the spread is probably. Win 50 plus, 40 plus. Tennessee will dominate that game. Then Vanderbilt, we go to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's much better than I thought they would be. Diego Pavia and their defense, and they're very well coached, and they play very hard. But no, Vanderbilt, there's no way they're going to beat this Tennessee team, especially with the college football playoff seeding on the line. Tennessee is wanting to get a first-round bye or play at home. At that point, Tennessee will be focused, and Tennessee will destroy Vanderbilt. So I have recalculated my predictions. I said 10-2 in the preseason. Now I say Tennessee is going to go 11-1. I think the floor at this point is 10-2, and I think the ceiling obviously is 12-0. There is a chance Tennessee could even go undefeated if some things go right. If we don't have injuries and certain people step up, Nico gets better. But the one thing I love about this Tennessee team too that I mentioned it before. The running back room, we had Dylan Sampson, but who was going to come into that role and kind of give him a break? Well, dude, Deshaun Bishop has showed up, and he is definitely a great complementary back to Dylan Sampson. So Tennessee is looking like a more complete team, and I think they're an 11-1 football team, and I think they're going to go to the SEC championship game in 11-1. We'll have to see how things shake out, but Tennessee should be playing in the SEC championship. Great team. Much better than I thought they would be, and they are going to be in the college football playoffs. Guys, I'll talk to you later.